Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with a sillier sort of video today. This is kind of like a parody of my own content, because this video is inspired by a couple of joke tweets that I made over the weekend, where I will actually include them in this video as the first couple of points. But then I thought, wait a minute, I'm just thinking of more and more of these. Maybe I can just turn this into a video instead that could just be more like satire, though it is still offering some criticism at the same time. This video is going to be about some really stupid predictions about the next expansion pack that I think have potential to still come true anyways. So starting off with number 1, it will have a new toilet and a new reskinned kids activity table. So part of what inspired this video is that Snowy Escape had both of these things, and it's become a bit of a meme that we keep getting these all the time. Because with Sims 4, it's like, oh yeah, it's still lacking all of these things, but those are a couple of things that The Sims 4 is not lacking. Choices in toilets and kids' activity tables. And even with all of our complaints, I would not be shocked if that still does not change. You know what would be nice? More shower tub combos, because I tend to just rely on Parenthood for that same one over and over again. It is pretty nice and has a decent variety of different swatches with different patterns on the shower curtain, but man, it would be nice to have some more. Number 2, the new world will not have a bar for once. It will have a gym instead. So this is another thing that came true in Snowy Escape that tends to repeat itself a lot. So that whenever we get a new world, it has a bar. If it has a venue, a bar is absolutely going to be one of them. No questions asked. And it's so repetitive. I know James Turner makes fun of that in his videos too. So it would be nice to see a little change up, and I would not be shocked to see that this would happen. And I think a gym would actually legit work as a sort of replacement, because with gyms, it's not like they just have to be for hanging out. There's actually one that I have in Oasis Springs that I downloaded from the gallery years ago that has some bars, it has a pool in it, and a playground, and some other stuff that I've added to it myself over the years. So it's just a nice place to hang out in general, not just a place to go get swole. So I think that would be really cool to see that changed up, you know? Number 3, the new world will have lots of decorative cars and gas stations, continuing to tease people like me who really want functional cars for our Sims. Yup, Eco Lifestyle and Snowy Escape both did that pretty well this year, so I don't expect that to change. I don't know if we're going to get cars at this point. I really hope we will, since they are still pretty highly requested. But it is still pretty annoying to just watch all these cars that we can't drive, and all these gas stations that we can't use, though I'm assuming we probably will never get to use the gas stations, because if the game was open world, then yeah, that would make a lot of sense. But no, I think we'll get cars eventually, but not the gas stations. But yeah, the gas stations definitely don't help. I've seen a lot of people getting annoyed at those. It is still nice, I guess, to see the decorative cars enhance just the life of the world more, just make it look more alive. But it's getting tiresome at this point. Number 4 is that the new world will also have those low-poly Sims 1-like Sims walking around in the background. It's pretty funny to see people legitimately bashing on these, because obviously you're not supposed to see them. They're way off in the distance. But it is still pretty funny when you do take a look at them. It definitely does give me Sims 1 vibes looking at them. Just giving the impression that there are Sims actually walking around in the background without having to yank from your Sim pool. But, yeah, it's definitely a weird sort of thing. You can see this in a few different worlds. Eco Lifestyle, Evergreen Harbor does have it. San Myshuno has plenty, walking around in certain places, especially the Fashion District. And I'm sure we have not seen the last of those. Number 5 is that the new world will be based once again somewhere in the United States. Thank goodness Snowy Escape did change things up because we got a world based in Japan for the first time ever in The Sims 4, but I would not be surprised in the least if the next expansion pack ends up going back to the United States. The Sims developers are based in the United States, more specifically California, so that's just the easiest thing for them to do. Though that does not stop the fact that it is pretty annoying, repetitive, and is just not really diverse enough, especially for a game in 2020 that has a very broad audience all around the world. But with US-based worlds, they don't need to do as much research compared to, say, whatever research they did in order to develop worlds like Mount Komorebi, Sulani, and Brightchester. Number 6 is that there will be a piece of furniture, most likely a couch, with some ridiculous and silly in-depth lore in its object description. This is actually not a negative point. I think this would be pretty funny. There was some pretty interesting story in a couple of the different object descriptions of Snowy Escape that I went over in a previous video. So, it's not a bad thing. I think it actually adds to The Sims' charm. Like, that's something that's been part of The Sims since the beginning. Ridiculous object descriptions that don't just simply say, hey, here's a chair for your Sims to sit on, and it looks cool, and it comes in this style. Like, no, there's actually some imagination to it, and in certain cases, they can add lore to the game. Like, I remember with the soccer ball in Discovery University, it actually gives some background as to how soccer became a thing in the universe of The Sims. Number 7, there won't be a new kitchen set, but don't worry, Expansion Pack 12 will have one. However, it will be missing the island pieces, but then they'll be added in an update if we're vocal enough about it. We did just get a kitchen set with Snowy Escape, and it's so rare that we get more kitchens, so I really think we'll have to wait another year or so before we get another. Unless they did another kitchen stuff pack, but I don't know if they would do that since Cool Kitchen is already a thing. Number 8, the new world will have some activities that you can only do there, but it will be visually stunning. Because this seems to be a thing we can always rely on, especially the visually stunning part. Because The Sims 4, one of its biggest strengths, is definitely the visuals, and the worlds are really gorgeous. I mean, Mount Komorebi, definitely one of my favorite worlds, though not just for the visuals. I think there is some fun gameplay in there. But, yeah, definitely some really cool visual stuff going on with the new worlds that we get. Number 9, kids and toddlers will have very little to do. I will admit, with Snowy Escape, they did better than I expected, with the toddlers being able to go sledding and the children being able to go skiing and snowboarding, though not being able to go down as many runs. But I'm still not convinced that this is something that they will continue improving on unless it is a pack that is surrounding one of those two age groups. Because unfortunately, this has been a problem for a long time, even before The Sims 4 was a thing. I remember The Sims 1 was pretty bad with giving kids gameplay, and The Sims 3 wasn't too great either. The Sims 2, I think, was the only one that was pretty decent there. Number 10, there will be 2 new aspirations. Both are just tutorials for exploring the new content. At this point, I'm just not really that excited for aspirations anymore. It's just like, okay, well, you should include new aspirations because that's something that we expect with expansion packs, but they just don't really impress me anymore. If only tutorial aspirations were done in moderation, then maybe it wouldn't be so bad, but just getting so repetitive, and I think it's still going to just be like that for the rest of The Sims 4's life cycle. Hopefully The Sims 5 can make aspirations more like The Sims 2, or just structure them in a completely different way where it doesn't fall into tutorial category so easily. Number 11 is some of the new gameplay will have disappointing animations or not have any at all. Using Snowy Escape as an example, we had that tornado feet animation for taking off shoes, and with the gondola, there's no animation whatsoever. It's just a teleporter, which really let me down too, and it's just so annoying to keep seeing this, and it keeps making me think, man, if this were The Sims 2, this would not fly. And to end off these predictions with the Create a Sim aspect, female Sims will have far more Create a Sim items than the males. This has been a very long-running issue with the franchise in general too, and that is still something that I don't really expect them to change at all, which is really disappointing. So, yep, I'm sure there will be way more feminine items in the next expansion pack than masculine once again. And that wraps it up for this list, so feel free to let me know in the comments section below what sort of stupid predictions you have for the next expansion pack. And be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest gaming content, including simulation games and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!